50 years ago, California was one of the tops in the nation in public school education.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, we have been in a continual decline, as you eloquently state in the state standardized testings, with 44% of our 11th graders can't read proficiently or at all. 72% can't do basic math, and you are so spot on. The best they're going to do after graduation is a minimum wage dead-end job.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in that 50 years? Well, 35 years ago, California Teachers Association said, if we had more money, we could reverse this declining school performance. Give us more money. We'll do a better job. So the California voters passed Prop 98 35 years ago that guarantees 39% of the state's budget goes to kindergarten through 12th grade education. Today, that is for every public school student, $23,000 per child and an average class size of 30. That is $690,000 every year we put into education.
Wow.
We have very generous taxpayers in California, very generous donors, very generous voters. We appreciate the value of education and the hope and promise it gives to our youth. However, the decline continued. So we're at a point where there's nothing really on the horizon to change this. The decline will continue because some students thrive and do well in public school. Stay there. If you like your public school, stay there. Test scores show there's a significant number that do not do well in public school, and they need a better fit for their learning style. And that opens up what happens to private school, faith-based school, and homeschool.
Visit faithandfreedom.tv and download the Faith and Freedom TV app today. Deception floods our airwaves, but Faith and Freedom TV fights back with truth. Our bold content, news, shows, Bible teachings, worship, and films shines with biblical conviction and patriotic courage, free from globalist lies. We empower Christian patriot creators to share faith and liberty. Access thousands of videos on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android, and iOS. Join the battle at faithandfreedom.tv.
Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired. Be encouraged. Be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yater.
Well, hello, and welcome, my freedom-loving patriots. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach Kim Yater, here to ignite your God-given power, inspire bold leadership, and amplify your voice in a world craving truth. Today, we are tackling a movement that's reshaping the future of our children, returning education back to God's original design, Revelate learning. I am thrilled to bring in two visionary leaders working together to empower parents and students, Leslie Russell and Kevin McNamee. Before we dive in, let me introduce these incredible patriots. Now, a little bit about Leslie. Leslie is a pioneering education reformer and the founder of Equip 210, a K through 12 alternative education movement designed to raise kingdom leaders. That's right, rooted in Christ-centered identity and academic excellence. With over 20 years of homeschooling her 4 children and a master's in secondary education, Leslie also created Revelate Learning, a global initiative equipping educators with spirit-led transformational teaching methods. She's pursuing a PhD in organizational leadership and is the author of the upcoming book, Revelation from God in Education, Learning Through the Lens of Our Creator, set to release in fall of 2025. Through her podcast, Reinventing Education with Leaders and Visionaries, she's sparking a global movement to rebuild education on truth and purpose. And also joining us today for a powerful conversation is Kevin McNamee, a passionate advocate for educational freedom and a key leader in the push for Children's Educational Opportunity Act. As a former mayor of Thousand Oaks, professor, 35-year business professional, and doctor of chiropractic and acupuncture, McNamee brings extensive experience in networking and coalition building to drive meaningful change for California's students. With a deep commitment to empowering parents and students, Kevin is working to break the strangleholds of failing public schools, systems that have not given families their financial freedom, and he's providing families financial means to choose the best education for their children. His expertise and tireless advocacy are helping to protect faith-based schools, private schools, and homeschooling options, ensuring education aligns with truth and parental rights. He's speaking my language. I love it. So together, both Leslie and Kevin are championing a revolution to return education to God's design. And they're here to share how we can take back our children's future, unveiling a path to empower parents, students, and educators with Christ-centered, purpose-driven learning. Buckle up, Patriots. This is about taking your power back. To kickstart us, let's watch a video that gives us a little bit of an introduction. Here we go. Come on, baby. Play it, play it, play it.
That flame within us, the desire for the pursuit of more. The steps we take forward, the drive behind this is no accident. There is no coincidence. There is a divine master plan, a calling like a thumbprint that resonates through the corridors of time. We are mosaics, shaped by our experiences, emotions, and dreams, forming his masterpiece. Every small part of us matters, contributing to the beauty of who we are. These passions we pursue are not random. They are significant threads woven into a grand tapestry. Every word we speak, every note we play, every action we take carries meaning and contributes to a master plan. As we embrace our calling, we become catalysts for transformation, bringing life and hope to desolate places. Let us remember and embrace our true identity as God's treasured masterpiece. We empower future generations to embrace their own identity and calling. Through him, we can ignite the fire within us and inspire those around us. And just as the waters fill the sea, our mission is to spread and saturate the earth with the knowledge and glory of God. We are a movement. We are his masterpiece. We are Equip 210.
Absolutely incredible. You all are in for a treat today. We've got with us in the room Leslie Russell, founder of Equip 210, and Kevin McNamee, CEO ACT. Come on. Guys, welcome to the Take Your Power Back show.
So happy to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I got to tell you, we have worked hard to make today's show possible. So I am so excited, guys. Let's start here. Leslie and Kevin, first of all, it's an honor to have you here today. And we're going to dive in and make the most of this opportunity. We're going to talk about the crisis in education and the vision that you have for God's design. Now, it is evident for all of us that our schools have been failing. Declining test scores, chronic absenteeism, and a clear link to rising crime and incarceration levels. In our schools, some of the statistics, 44% of 11th graders cannot read proficiently. Something's wrong. And 72% lack basic math skills. For many of these students, the result is a minimum wage job with very little opportunity for growth. 75% of students are leaving their Christian faith and are struggling with their sexual identity. This is an absolute catastrophe. Leslie, Kevin, what is the driving force behind this crisis? And how does your work together address that? Leslie, why don't we start with you?
Wow, you teed that up so beautifully. And I really, everything that you said there is just spot on and is accurate. And so when you look at that, it grieves us, right? It's just, and I look at all those statistics, and I think the one that just as a mom, because my husband and I have been married over 30 years, and we've raised and homeschooled our 4 adult children. They're in their early 20s. And I have to tell you, like we raised them up to know and love Jesus. And our former program that we ran had tens of thousands of children come through that. So I definitely have a heart for children in the next generation. And what grieves me the most is the fact that when you raise them up in that, for them to like depart that. And as a mom, you want to look at like, what do I want my 18-year-old to look like when they're adult? And the biggest thing that you want is for them to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. So then you have to go all the way back when they're 5, 3, 5, 10, 12, 15 years of age. It's like, well, how do I get there? And there can't be a dichotomy between what you're doing at home and going to church and youth group on Wednesday and what you're doing in education. And so when you share that statistic that it's actually 75 to 90% are leaving their Christian faith when they've been raised in a Christian home, and 25% struggle with their own sexuality, it's like, why is that? And the reason why it is the dichotomy between what they're doing at home, what they're doing at church on Sunday, and what they're doing in their public education. And how are they being educated? Because secularism is really a euphemism for humanism. And humanism is the wisdom of man instead of the wisdom of Christ. And so when they look at the world and they graduate at their like cellular level, like when they look out at the world, they see the world through a lens that is not a lens of God, seeing God in creation, seeing him in society, in culture, seeing him in their choices that they make. It's like these categories, these buckets of life that they have been in. They're in their secular bucket at school. They're in their church bucket at church. They're in their church bucket. Right. And so it all goes together. Family, education, and church are really one. It's one cord, and there has to be continuity, there needs to be continuity between the three of them. And that's why education is so essential. It's so essential for parents to make the right choice for their families.
So good. So good. Kevin, let's have you piggyback off that.
50 years ago, California was one of the tops in the nation in public school education. Mm-hmm. Since then, we have been in a continual decline, as you eloquently state in the state standardized testings, with 44% of our 11th graders can't read proficiently or at all. 72% can't do basic math, and you are so spot on. The best they're going to do after graduation is a minimum wage dead-end job. Mm-hmm. What happened in that 50 years? Well, 35 years ago, California Teachers Association said, if we had more money, we could reverse this declining school performance. Give us more money. We'll do a better job. So the California voters passed Prop 98 35 years ago that guarantees 39% of the state's budget goes to kindergarten through 12th grade education. Today, that is for every public school student, $23,000 per child and an average class size of 30. That is $690,000 every year we put into education.
Wow.
We have very generous taxpayers in California, very generous donors, very generous voters. We appreciate the value of education and the hope and promise it gives to our youth. However, decline continued. So we're at a point where there's nothing really on the horizon to change this. The decline will continue. What better than to put the parents in charge of where their child goes to school? Because some students thrive and do well in public school. Stay there. If you like your public school, stay there. Test scores show there's a significant number that do not do well in public school, and they need a better fit for their learning style. And that opens up what happens to private school, faith-based school, and homeschool. What the CEO Act does is it allows some of that Prop 98 money to now go into an education savings account for that child. So now the parent's in charge of where that child goes to school, not a politician, bureaucrat, or regulator. Parents are in charge.
That's right.
No longer are the intellectual elites in Sacramento or Washington, D.C.
So
dictating what the child needs to learn, but can be addressed locally and can't get more local than mom and dad. So when you have Tulare, California having certain educational needs, now the parents have the financial means to meet those needs in Tulare versus different needs in Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, San Diego,
Right.
Los Angeles. Education should be local because every education priority demands different solutions depending on where they are. That's what the CEO does. And we can do this without raising taxes with tax-free money in this initiative, the Children's Educational Opportunity Act.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So let me ask you this. So I want to know, is what you two have created together God's original design for education, learning that unlocks each child's unique purpose, free from government-controlled agendas?
Yes, exactly. Like
That's a breath of fresh air, I have to tell you. That's taking our education back and protecting our children.
What the strength of what we have here is that Leslie has a vision and has proven it to work throughout the country through Equip 210. And it's a terrific program. And what I'm able to bring to the table here is the financial means for parents to choose the best education option for their child, which Equip 210, Revelate, this all can happen out of a homeschool, a warehouse, empty office buildings, church sanctuaries, the YMCA that's not being used, the HOAs that have empty rooms during the day. Yeah. All those could become classrooms and environments for rich learning and enrichment. So I bring the financial side of it by empowering people like Leslie, who can tell you more about Equip 210 and what she's doing with Revelate, to allow the parents to be in charge of their child's education.
I love it. I love it. Leslie, give us the lowdown. Equip 210 and Revelate Learning.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of echo what Kevin just said. This, like, the CEO Act is truly a game changer because it releases the money into the hands of the parents, an educational savings account, and it's people's choice. It's an initiative, not a bill. And so to be able to have the money to be able to go and educate your child the way that you want to educate them is a game changer. It's amazing. And so what we do at Equip 210, we launched like our flagship campuses. And we're at the point now where we've been given something that we want to populate it literally around the world. And like 3 days ago, I was in Sacramento speaking with a pastor from Pakistan who wants Revelate Learning to come to Pakistan. And then my husband and I took to lunch the other day a pastor from Uganda, and he wants us to educate his teachers in Uganda on Revelate Learning. And then the ethos that we've been training our teachers nationwide is Revelate Learning. So Revelate Learning is a word that the Lord gave to revelate. And I've been writing a book for the past year and a half. And what he's really shown to me is that historically our education system, all the way back to ancient civilization has been built on a Greco-Roman foundation. And so that's like a whole history lesson that I can get into. But really what I want to express is that our whole educational system is based on the wisdom of man instead of the wisdom of Christ. And God says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 17 through 31, he calls it out. He says, who are these brilliant philosophers? Who are these Greek scholars? This is just the wisdom of man. It's not the wisdom of Christ. So with Revelate Learning, it's 5 P's. The first one is perspective. We need to learn through the perspective of God, seeing God in all things, math, science, English, history. The second P is personhood, imago Dei. Children need to know that their identity, there's only one identity, and the identity is in Jesus Christ. The third P is our pillars, our 7 pillars of love, grace, honor, obedience, excellence, kindness, and courage. And then the fourth P is biblical principles. There's biblical principles that transcend culture, generations, that you want to raise children up in. So when they're running their companies and their ministries and they're operating, they're in relationship, that they are operating with a biblical principle mindset instead of the principles of the secular. And then the last piece is pedagogy. And that's a fancy word that means how do teachers teach? Because right now teachers teach where they are the ones that have the information, and the child comes in and they come in, here's the teacher, here's the child, and there's immediately a deficit and a lack. And it's a race to the teacher's knowledge. And if you can't get there fast enough, then they create an IEP, an individualized educational plan. And then it's like, what's wrong with Billy? What's wrong with Susie?
Right.
That they can't do that. And then the child, what's wrong with me? I can't get to the teacher, the knowledge fast enough. And what's wrong with me? Whereas the pedagogy that we teach and educate on is really, it's the teacher that needs to come and meet the student where they are, because
beautifully said,
to be released. And so what we do is we're at the point where we help anyone who wants to launch a pod, a co-op, a micro school. We will help you launch that. We help Christian schools who are like, wow, this Revelate Learning, I want to learn this pedagogy, this methodology. We'll come in and, we do everything virtually. There's also opportunity to come in person, but it's mostly done virtually, where we will train and equip you in this methodology of Revelate Learning, your whole staff, your teachers, and it's for anyone. Like anyone can come in and be a part of it. So we have a whole program that we do with them. It's very manageable, very accessible. And we really want to populate this around the world. And with that is going to become a paradigm shift and the reason why education is even done.
Beautiful. Kevin, give us a little taste of the CEO Act. We're going to go into the video after our commercial break. Give us a little bit of a teaser, because I hear that the parents are going to have the funding to be able to do this. That's what you're creating.
That's exactly correct. Of that Prop 98 funds, $23,000 goes to every child in the public school. What the CEO Act does is take $17,000 per child who wants to go to public or private school, faith-based school, or homeschool. If the parents are not happy with the public school, they set up an education savings account at the state level. $17,000 gets put into that account specifically for that child.
And no that's per year? Per
year, $17,000. And that will go up as California's economy grows. It's 39% of the state revenue. So now the parent's job is to find the best education for their child, whether it be private school, faith-based school, or homeschool. Parents then enroll that child into that school. The school contacts the state ESA trust board and says, we have this child. This is what we charge for tuition. Let's say it's $7,000 per year. The state will release $7,000 to that private school or faith-based school or homeschool amount to that school. Okay. Parents never touch the money. Very important. They can direct where it goes, but they never touch it. Mm-hmm. The $10,000 remaining in that account rolls over year after year, earning interest for future education expenses. Let's fast forward 13 years to 12th grade. At the end of 12th grade, they would have over $130,000 sitting in that account for trade technical school, university, post-grad for the remainder of that child's life. So you now have eliminated or reduced tremendously student loan debt.
Yes.
And after 18, that child can use some or all and donate any unused funds to a family member's education savings account for education. So let's say the older brother is a plumber, has $50,000 left in the education savings account, won't do anything with it, can transfer some or all of it to the sister who may be going off to medical school for $200,000. This is the 529 program that the wealthy families enjoy, that the low-income and moderate-income families can't afford to do. This is how you now have equity and equality. Equality because everyone gets $17,000. Equity because everyone can wind up with a great education at the end. And this is a win-win-win.
Wow.
Because studies have shown that you reduce public school classrooms attendance. You have smaller classrooms in public school. Instruction is more personalized. Public school student test scores go up. And you save the state educational dollars because instead of spending $23,000, they're going to be spending $17,000. That's a win-win-win, in my opinion.
100% win-win-win. I'm telling you, I have 4 kids all grown up. And I know that Leslie has had 4 children. So if we had this back then, wow, that would have been a game changer.
Yes.
So this is putting power back into the parents' hands and giving the education back to the child. This is absolutely powerful. We're going to take a second to thank our sponsors who make the Take Your Power Back show possible. And when we return, guys, we're going to hear more from Leslie. We're going to hear more from Kevin on how to take our education back and give power back to the family. Returning education back to God's original design, Revelate Learning. We'll see you two in just a moment. Guys, our sponsors are why we are able to do today's show, because of our sponsors, and we're so grateful. We are in the midst of economic warfare, and we're all awake. We're all privy to it. We saw what happened during COVID. We saw that the big box retailers were available for us. The Procter & Gamble, the Colgate and Palmolive, the Johnson & Johnson, the Unilever, when all the mom and pop shops closed. What's the problem with that? I mean, come on, let's take a look. What's in those products? Parabens, alcohol, sulfates, triclosan. They're quaternary disinfectants. They're poisons, heavy metals that go into your bloodstream, leading to dis-ease. And what happens to diseased people? They end up into the pharmaceutical industry. It's the cycle to hell. And we're saying no more. We're taking our power back by making the switch to an American manufacturer. USA Today named them America's best brand. They've been doing this for 40 years. They are a manufacturer that makes over 450 products that are better, safer, and less expensive than the stores. Do you want real results with what's going to turn the lights on to the body? Take inflammation down by 16.2% in 1 hour. What about getting the junk out of your home that's causing you to be sick? It's time. Tap into patriotsmade.com/Kim. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. One of our team of experts will reach out to you and tailor your shopping according to your wellness needs. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. Let's get your wellness needs met today. All right, guys, a big thank you to our sponsors. We're so grateful. They are the game changers, keeping freedom alive. Now we are going to transition back into the Take Your Power Back show with our incredible patriots today. Guys, what a show. And I'll tell you what, we are committed to taking our education back, and we're going to bring you the experts who do just that. So for those of you who have just jumped into today's show, welcome back to the Take Your Power Back show. I'm Kim Yater, yours truly. Today's show is returning education back to God's original design, Revelate Learning, and our special guests today are Leslie Russell and Kevin McNamee. And guys, we are learning about how to equip the parent with what they need to take our education back and care for their children. So let's give it right back to you guys. Come on into the room. Miss Leslie and Kevin, welcome back, guys. That's a big bundle of breath of air. Are you ready for round two?
I'm ready for round two.
All right. So round two, let's talk about this. So Leslie and Kevin, you're both working on this groundbreaking initiative,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And we want to get our eyes on what this really looks like, because for parents that are considering homeschooling, one, that thought can be absolutely overwhelming. And then the funding, how the heck am I going to fund my kid? When you can have all the support you need, right? And you can actually, oh, come back, Kevin, where are you going? Come back here. When you can have all the support you need and have the funding available, that's when it makes all the difference and you feel empowered. And that's what you're here to do today.
How can you support our children in qualifying this initiative for the November 2026 ballot? Step 1. Call 323-417-4644 to receive a free video explaining the CEO Act so you can share it with others. Step 2. Go to educationopportunity.org or scan the QR code to commit to signing the initiative. Enter your name, email, and phone number so we can contact you when we begin signature gathering. Step 3. Follow us on social media so we grow our list and attract donors. At CEO Act CA on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Step 4. Please donate. Every dollar counts. It says you believe in our children and their future. Scan the QR code to make a donation. Every donation, regardless of its amount, helps the effort. Step 5. Ask others to sign up for the CEO Act. Text and email your friends and family the website and phone number. Ask them to commit to sign the initiative. Break the cycle of poverty by allowing parents to find the best education option for their child.
Kevin, give us the lowdown. Why is this a game changer?
Well, go to educationopportunity.org. On the page there, there's a register yourself, a commit to sign, enter your name, email, phone number. I had one woman so passionate about this. She says, I'm not even going to ask the permission of my children who can vote, my neighbors, my brothers, sisters, my grandparents. I'm going to register them anyways, and then text them the link to that video. So I say to them, this is what you signed up for. You're voting for it, whether you like it or not. I thought that was wonderful. Please go and do more.
So good. Okay, Leslie, I'm pulling you in. Connect the dots for us. The CEO Act in Equip 210 and Revelate Learning.
Absolutely. And so a great way to connect the dots is our high school program. So 8th through 12th grade is live online. It's virtual. And something like the CEO Act can help you pay for that. It's very nominally priced to begin with. But just to connect the dots, like the parent wants to be able to use their money from the ESA to be able to educate the child the way that they feel led to educate the child. And so to be able to take the funding and to put their child where they want them to be is just so essential. And I'm going to kind of get into another point of that in a second, but I just really want to share our high school program because it's for everyone and it's live online. The teachers are incredible. They have their PhD, their master's, their BS, their BA in their specific subject area. But more importantly than that is that they totally been trained in the whole methodology and pedagogy, all aspects of Revelate learning, that if they really teach math, science, English, history through the lens of the creator, which is so essential. So I know high schoolers need choices. They don't want to be in a program. It's like a dinosaur. Like if your child is in a program where they go on Monday and they're there until Friday and they're there from the morning to the afternoon every single day, and this is like your plan for their high school, you really need to hear this because right now, education is so changing so quickly that post-secondary is coming into secondary education like this.
Elitist media deceives, but Faith and Freedom TV amplifies truth. Our world-leading platform delivers news, teachings, worship, movies, and music rooted in biblical values and constitutional patriotism, inspiring faith and liberty. We inspire, equip, and amplify Christian patriots to share powerful stories of faith, family, and freedom. With live events, thousands of on-demand videos, and access on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android, and iOS, we're transforming culture globally for God and country. New content is coming to ignite faith. Join our mission to counter deception. Visit faithandfreedom.tv And download the Faith and Freedom TV app today.
High schoolers need to be graduating with 2 diplomas, one for high school and one for their associate's degree. And we offer both. So we have a collegiate high school where our live online students come on and they get to take classes. They get, if they want to take 1 class or 2 classes or all their classes, they have the ability for dual enrollment, and they also have the ability for their associate's degree. And so they can go to equip210.com and click on Ignite, and then they'll be able to find that and to sign up. And it's like, why is this significant? It's like, Hannah, why is this even important? Like, what's wrong with a public school? Why can't I just send them there, for high school? It is essential, especially in their high school years. This is like the last chance before they graduate for them to have a bibliocentric Christian worldview. Also, to give them the opportunity to get a job, to do internships, to be able to have the choice of like, oh, I want to take this subject here or that subject there, to be able to give them an option, to be able to have the collegiate component of it for the dual enrollment. In addition to that, I just want to say entrepreneurialism is so exciting. Like, our high schoolers are so creative, and we don't give them an opportunity to be able to express that. So by doing homeschool, like a homeschool hybrid program in high school, it really enables them to tap into what their God-given purpose is. And you want them to be able to tap into that and to be able to live out what they're called to do. So many times they graduate and they don't even know what they're supposed to go into. But when you take your high school years that are so essential to be able to cultivate that. And it's like, why is that important? There's one more statistic that I want to give you. And this is really, this is really disturbing, is that humanism is the fastest growing religion. It's outpacing all the world religions in the Western hemisphere. So it's like, why is that? Why is humanism, which is a religion, it's basically edification of man instead of edification of God. Right. It goes back to the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. They wanted their own wisdom over God's wisdom. And so basically, when we're sending our students to school, in a secular school, they're learning humanism. That's what they're learning. And so when they're graduating, they have a worldview that's humanistic. And so that's like no surprise then why it's actually growing faster than any of our world religions.
Right. You know what's funny, Leslie? I've got, oh, hang on there, Kevin. I'm coming right to you. So I love that you were popping in. I have adults that I coach now who have no connection to their purpose. And they went through the public school system, right? So through our coaching, they're able to access their identity, kind of that education that we wish took place in the younger years. Right? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Absolutely.
If we were growing these young adults already knowing what their purpose was, whose they were.
Exactly. When you know who he is, you know who you are. And that's the Imago Dei. And that's one of our P's in the 5 P's of Revelate learning is personhood. And that's the Imago Dei, identity in Jesus, and to be able to see him in all things. And the CEO Act totally is, as we've shared and said this word, it's a game changer in that we can completely shift education into the kingdom with shifting the money from it being used. Whenever you take the control away from the parent and that they feel like they are forced to have to go somewhere because they don't have the money to be able to choose anything differently, we're controlling them. And children are a gift from God. And it's up to the parent to decide where they want them to go. And if they're limited because they don't have the funding, that this empowers the parent. Like I would imagine any parent, regardless of your demographics, your ethnicity, your faith, whatever it may be, wants to be able to make the decision for their child instead of a government or because of being limited to money. So it's like for everyone. And as Kevin said, you can use, if you want to stay in the public school system, you're welcome to, but otherwise you can take that money and go wherever you want to go with that.
Kevin, get us to the money. 1 million signatures. What do we need to do?
When you look at Milton Friedman's comment, a famous economist out of Stanford Hoover Institute, He says that the largest monopoly we have in the United States is our public school system. It controls the most dollars for education and controls the most students. If you look back at our education system, we are using a 100 plus year model of an industrial educational model that we use today. If you look in the 1800s, early 1900s, we had successful education taking place in our one-room schoolhouses throughout our country. Students had the highest literacy rate. They were able to read. And you know how they read and learned how to read was using the Bible, believe it or not. So they were getting values and morals and standards as they were learning how to read. Well, let's fast forward. The industrial educational model came into place in the early 1900s. We have what we have today that is not meeting the needs of our students today. We need to get this initiative, the Children's Educational Opportunity Act, on the ballot. We need 1 million signatures in order to qualify for November of 2026. Again, we'd like to have all the listeners and viewers, please go to educationopportunity.org, enter your name, email, phone number, and then do that for your family and friends, even your enemies. I don't care. We want to get voters. Call that phone number, get the text link, text the video over to them and say, this is what you're voting for. We need 1 million people. We'll be launching signature gathering this October in a couple months. And we'd like to have everyone get out there and collect signatures from their friends, families, neighbors, anyone they know. Go to their private school or faith-based schools. Ask them to sign the initiative. Go around to all the parents, because I'm sure each parent would like to have $17,000 tax-free without raising taxes and their child's ESA for education than trying to find funds to pay for that private school or faith-based school education. I just got word yesterday that Apple Valley Christian School closed.
Oh,
Quick. No one knew. No one expected because of the falling enrollment. They can't afford to keep the school open. I can tell you that the homeschoolers should be behind this 110%.
yes, come on.
Because it covers PSA, PSP, credentialed teacher model. You can go into it if you want. You can sign up for the ESA. You can do the CEO Act. It's optional. Parent, if you're not happy, you can opt out and drop out of the program. But I had a mother give a great question on a radio show a few weeks ago. And she says, can I get paid for teaching my child at home? And I informed her that it's there for education, not family enrichment. So no, you can't get paid for teaching your own kids. She says, can we hire tutors? I said, absolutely. Use that money for hiring tutors, books, fees, tuition, transportation to and from school, school activities, special needs, all those things. She says, then could I hire my neighbor around the corner to be the tutor? I said, absolutely. She was laying down the breadcrumbs, Kim, because many parents want to homeschool, but they financially can't afford to do it. Here's what she was saying. Two moms come together as a homeschool pod, but they now, because they're not teaching exclusively their children, they could build the ESA for tutoring for those other children that they're working with in the neighborhood. So now you got a financial ability for these moms, homeschool moms, to actually afford to stay home and teach other kids while that other mom could teach their kids and build the ESA. Another mom from Palmdale, Lancaster, she says, we have a church here who has a large building in the back. We'd like to open a school, but it's financially very difficult for this parents to do so. She says, can we do the following? We have a lot of homeschool parents here. Can we bring them into the school here, this building, but don't call it a school. We just have homeschool pods coming together. And the teachers that we have here, we can hire as tutors. I said, yes, actually, that works very well. I said, why would you want to go to that and not call yourself a school? She says, all of our homeschool parents in this church do not want to vaccinate their children. They're worried about the adverse effects of vaccinations. And if we go to public school or private school or faith-based school, we're mandated to vaccinate our children. We don't want to do that. So by calling themselves a homeschool, hiring tutors, not teachers, they can maintain their ability to not vaccinate their children if they want, still provide quality teachers, and provide that homeschool model while billing the children's ESAs for that service. I thought, you unleash the collective wisdom of the American people when you give them the opportunity instead of top down from Sacramento or Washington decisions, really creative solutions.
Absolutely. Right on.
Amazing. Okay, I want everybody to go to this phone number down below. You're going to see a video for yourself, and I want you to share this with everybody you know. The number is 323-417-4644. This is the CEO Act Now. Go there today. Send this to everybody you know. 323-417-4644. Here's the deal. This is about giving parents the power to break free.
Nice.
Parents, you have the ability to break free from a failing system and invest in your children's God-given potential. That is absolutely incredible. Now, here's what we're going to do. Kevin, Leslie, we're going to take a moment just to thank our last set of sponsors today that are keeping education alive, God-given education alive. This is so powerful. So stay with us, everybody. We're going to explore how to equip the next generation of kingdom leaders.
Yes.
But first, let's take a moment. We're going to thank our sponsors who are fueling this fight to keep freedom alive. Leslie and Kevin, I'm going to see you in just a moment. Okay, guys, our first sponsor that I want to say a big thank you to, that's been putting food in all of our bellies, is Freedom Steaks Now. What? Okay, here's the deal. It's all over the news. You are hearing what's actually going into cattle. I mean, maybe you're not getting it from your mainstream media, which is fake media, but you're going to get the real news from your what General Flynn would call your digital warriors. And that's people like us. So here's the deal. They are trying to put mRNA into your food. They are taking things that are not good for you and filling it in your food, in your animals, things like Zeranol that is outlawed in most countries, but it's not outlawed here in the USA, and it's in much of the cattle. So how do you take your power back? Well, you make the switch. You go, you know what? I am not going to buy beef that has hormones anymore. I'm not buying beef that has mRNA in it or is antibiotic. And how can you do that? You can partner with us. That same American-made resource, they're cattle ranchers. Remember, USA Today named them America's best brand, but these cattle ranchers are throughout the United States. It's vertical integration. Never, ever hormoned, never, ever antibiotic, and never, ever mRNA. And I got to tell you, how does it taste? I've had beef at Mar-a-Lago. I've had beef at the highest level steakhouses. This is the most delicious beef you'll ever eat. You want to have family dinners where nobody leaves the table and literally the conversation is so rich over ribeyes. Oh my gosh, amazing. And the ribeyes really are my favorite, but you can get your spices, organic. The prices are blow away, less expensive than Costco. So go to freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. That's freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. Go get your never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef today at freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. One of our team of experts will reach out and make sure that your needs are taken care of. That's freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And if you like what you're seeing today and you want some more of it, then go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. Takeyourpowerbackshow.com gives you access to all of our shows, but it also gives you the ability to fund freedom. Your donation of $1, $5, $10, $100, $1,000 keeps freedom alive. Go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com, click on sponsor and donate. And if you want to be one of those sponsors, I'd be honored to meet with you. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com. All right, let's release that banner in without further ado. We are going to reach back into the pockets to pull on in Leslie and Kevin. All right. So Leslie, oh my gosh, absolutely love it. We are bringing to light educationopportunity.org's partnership, CEO Act partnership with Educate, Equip 210 and Revelate. For today's show, returning education back to God's original design, the real way to learn. It's called Revelate Learning. Guys, are you ready for our third segment?
Yeah, let's go.
Definitely.
All right, here we go. All right, first up, here's the deal. Kevin, How do we make the vision practical? What's the global impact of your work together? So one, make it practical for us right now. I know you gave us a couple of examples of schools, but what is an action that I might be able to take now? And Leslie, you're going to piggyback right into that question. Kevin.
Well, the practical is, let's get this on the ballot for 2026, get 1 million signatures. We need to have people register at our website, educationopportunity.org. Put your name, email, phone number. We'll reach out to you in October when we launch Signature Gathering. Also, network. Everyone knows at least 250 other people. When we launch Signature Gathering, go to your faith-based school, your private school, the homeschool pods, get their signatures on and send the initiative in so we can qualify this. Second step is it gets on the ballot. We get everyone to vote for it for November of 2026. January 1 of 2027, it goes into effect. Parents now have the option to set up an education savings account so they can utilize those funds for programs like Equip 210. Equip 210 and Revelate will do, and Leslie can go into more detail with this, is that the CEO Act, $17,000 per year for private school, faith-based school, and homeschool, opens up the possibilities for parents to embrace Equip 210 and Revelate to make that part of their child's education experience, combining faith, God, as well as keep that genius characteristic alive and well as that child moves through their education. Leslie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. That is so right on. We have to completely change the way that children are being educated. And that's what we're all about at Revelate Learning, is coming alongside you and helping you do it. So get ready for 2027, accessing that funding. And you can do that this October. We're starting a training, and you'll be able to come into that training. We already have people all around the country coming in, people in the state coming in, and we're going to train you. It's over the course of the 6 weeks in our pedagogy of Revelate Learning, the 5 Ps that I had gone over with you. We're going to go over the perspective, the personhood, the pillars, the principles, biblical principles, and then how do you do it? How do you teach children the way that Kevin just described, so that they maintain their God-given calling at kindergarten, that they are able to steward that all the way through their education and not lose it. And so I love it. Like, this is my DNA. I love championing people. I love calling people out to like their highest level, seeing the gold in them. So I'm so excited to get you teed up. Like, if you've been journaling and talking about like, hey, I feel like God is like wanting me to like start a school, whether it's in your home or in a church as a co-op or a micro school or a whole school movement, that we want to come alongside you and help you do that, because we've been doing it over a decade with our former program, which was called Next Generation Ministries Independent Learning Academy. We had tens of thousands of students come through campuses, like 1,000 students that would come through 4 days a week, and then campuses all different sizes in California, out of state, and then launching Equip 210 in New York, on the East Coast, in the Southwest, Northwest, and California. We want to help you do it now. It can be your name. We want to come alongside you and just make it possible, so that when that time comes, you're already teed up, ready to go. The second thing is today, like if you have a high schooler, 8th grade through 12th grade, and whether you're looking for a full program for them, or you're just looking to pick up one class because your co-op is missing a chemistry teacher, or you want a different math teacher, or whatever it is, you can come and take one class with us, or you can take all of them. All of our teachers are trained in this methodology, pedagogy that I've been talking about with Revelate Learning. And you can go to equip210.com to be able to access that, or you can go to revelatelearning.com if you want us to train you and equip you and get you ready for that money that's going to be coming in. So we're super excited.
Hey, give me a testimony. I want to hear a real story. Yeah. Boots on the ground, a student, a school. Okay, so come on.
So this is amazing. We had a grandmother. So this is one of our campuses. Yes. We had a grandmother call and talk to the director and say, I have been praying for years for my adult son and his wife to come to know Jesus, to come back. Okay. Wow. Because they're like the example of like, they were raised in a Christian home, but they left. And so they had their children who were the grandchildren of this grandma who called. And she was just so like thankful and overwhelmed with emotion that she called the director and said, I've been praying for them to come back to the Lord. And through their child at our Equip 210 campus, it was the little child that like witnessed and like discipled the parents, that they actually ended up going back and getting baptized, which is just like amazing that that happened. And that was an incredible story.
All right, I got to tell you, Kevin, I'm going to bring us back. Let's exit this to the layout. Here we go. Kevin, call to action. Call to action. Let's bring it.
Call to action. Get this on the ballot. I need 1 million people to sign the initiative. We get it on the ballot, vote for it November of 26. What they can do right now is go to their private school, their faith-based school, their home schools, ask them to go to educationopportunity.org, ask all the voting parents of that school to enter their name, email, phone number. Also, call 323-417-4644. We will send you a 3-minute YouTube text link that views that video, copy it, send it out to everyone you know, ask them to do the same. This will spread like wildfire.
This is a global call to return education to God's design. Right. It's not just USA, it is USA, and it's international, unlocking every child's God-given purpose and identity. Leslie, Kevin, you guys are an absolute blessing. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for being in the fight today, guys. All right, you know what to do. You know what to do. They were very clear. Educationopportunity.org. That's number 1. I want you guys to go there, get signed up. Number 2, I want you to call the phone number 323-417-4644. Send this to everybody. Tell them to call, watch the video, and then make sure they'll be prompted to go to educationopportunity.org. And then for the education, for the leaders, for all of you who are considering the possibility of homeschooling, of bringing this learning into your space, I want you to go to equip210.com, equip210.com, and then Revelate Learning, a word from God. This was a download from heaven to Leslie, revelatelearning.com. It's time that we, the people, take our education back and protect our children and restore the people's real identity. Leslie, Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. You guys are awesome, and we will be talking again very soon.
Thank you so much, Kim, for all you do. It's been great.
Thank you. Honor, an absolute honor. Patriots, this is your moment. Support the CEO Act. Now, this has been a powerful hour with Leslie Russell and Kevin McNamee. Together, they're leading a revolution to return education to God's original design through the Children's Educational Opportunity Act and initiatives like Equip 210 and Revelate Learning. This is how we the people, take our power back by empowering parents, protecting freedom, and raising up the next generation of kingdom leaders and taking our education back. Join the movement today. You know where to go, and continue to follow us at takeyourpowerbackshow.com. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on X. You can find us on Facebook, and we're live on Instagram. You'll also find us on Blessed to Teach in the next couple of weeks. That's His glory. We've been on Patriot TV, and we've been on the radio waves. We're on Sovereign Radio now, and we are so excited because we digital warriors are bringing you the real news. We're showing you how we the people can take our power back on a local level. General Flynn says local action equals national impact, and it starts with things just like this. The CEO Act. Let's do it together. It's time for we the people to take our power back. I have so enjoyed being with you today. I enjoy being with you every single day that I get to bring the truth into the light and make sure that your power is ignited, that God-given power, that your leadership is inspired. You're inspired to step into your bold leadership as a child of the King of Kings, and that your voice is amplified because the world is craving the truth, and we are bringing the truth into the light. So, with that being said, may God bless you abundantly as you take your power back. I absolutely love you, and we're going to see you on the other side. This is Kim Yater signing on out, and we're going to close out with that intro. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. May God bless you abundantly as you take your power back.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.
The markets are in turmoil. Global trade disputes, government debt, and economic shifts are creating unprecedented uncertainty. Yet, gold and silver remain the ultimate safe haven assets, thriving when chaos reigns. Kirk Elliott Precious Metals empowers you to safeguard your future. Call 720-605-3900 or visit kepm.com/B2T to discover how to reposition your portfolio into low-cost, fully liquid gold and silver bullion. Unlike firms pushing overpriced rare coins, KEPM educates you, avoids high commissions, and charges nothing when you liquidate. With governments and banks scrambling, now is your chance to invest in assets that have stood the test of time. Join thousands who trust KEPM to protect their retirement with integrity. Call 720-605-3900 or go to kepm.com/B2T today to seize this historic bull market opportunity. Transform your health with the power of light. Introducing the future of natural healing. Are you seeking a natural, effective way to enhance your well-being, reduce pain, and accelerate healing? If you're looking for quick fixes or ignoring the importance of natural health solutions, this might not be for you. Backed by years of research and testimonials from health professionals, our quantum energy infrared light harnesses the scientifically proven benefits of red and infrared light therapy. Designed for those who value holistic health practices, our device offers a non-invasive, drug-free method to support your body's natural healing processes. Visit QEstrong.com now to discover how quantum energy can revolutionize your health routine. Experience deeper sleep, enhanced muscle recovery, reduced inflammation, and improved skin health, all with just a few minutes of use each day. Don't miss out on the healing power of quantum energy. Visit QEstrong.com and learn more to take the first step toward the healthier you. Join the thousands who have already discovered the life-changing benefits of quantum energy. It's time to prioritize your health and well-being. Unlock the healing power of light.
Hello, I'm Jordan, and this is my brother. And I'm Nace, and we're at the Grid Down Chowdown. And this is Larry, who is a local rancher that we've partnered with. Now, Larry, you've been ranching for over 4 generations, is that correct?
That's correct. I'm 3rd generation, my son's 4th generation, and I've got some grandkids that are 5th generation.
Man, that's awesome.
We've been here for quite a while, yeah.
All right, now, Larry, your cattle is grass-fed, grass-finished, and pasture-raised, just like God intended them to be.
Yes, because I want to know what's in that animal.
Right.
What it's been fed. And so the only way to do that is for us to keep it all natural, just like God has done it for years and years and years, thousands of years.
How has partnering up with us helped you in your ranch?
Well, it's allowed us to develop a market that we didn't have before, one that can get directly to the consumer, and that's great.
And just remember, more importantly, with every package that you buy, we put a salvation track in there. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for allowing us to do what we believe that God has us here to do. And just remember, God loves you. He really does.
Amen.